Today we are talking about nursing expectations versus reality. It's about to get real. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are already part of my family, how are you doing? I hope you are doing fantastic. Thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Kiara Selena. I am a practical nurse, and on my channel, we mainly talk about nursing and health, but we also do a bit of beauty and hair. So if you are considering starting a nursing journey, or if you are starting your nursing journey, make sure you subscribe, because I guarantee you everything you need to be successful on your nursing journey is right here on Nursing with Key. So bang on that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell. That way you will be notified whenever I post future content. As you guys saw in the title, I want to talk about nursing expectations versus reality. So we all have these expectations when we get into nursing. We all have this kind of idea of the way we think nursing is going to be once we get through at nursing school and we actually become nurses and get out there on the field. But baby, the truth of the matter is a lot of these things are false, and that is what I want to clarify. So let us burst these myths, okay? Talk money. So a lot of people think that nurses are just balling. We are just balling out here. We're wearing Gucci belts and YSL shoes and MK glasses, and we're just out here in the range and we're just living our best life. Now, let me just clarify something, okay? That can definitely be you as a nurse. And, you go online and you look up, the averages for nurses, and you see $60, $70, $80, $90,000 depending on your area and the level of nursing that you want to do. You see these amazing averages, and you really expect to make all this money when you get out of nursing school. But let me just tell you something, okay? Although you can definitely make a lot of money as a nurse, although the opportunities are there, one thing that I want you guys to understand is it takes time, baby. I'm a new grad nurse, and I have yet to see my Range Rover, baby. I still got my Nissan Sentra. I'm grateful to God for what I got, but I have yet to get my Audi and my BMW, okay? So let me just explain to you guys the reason why it's a little bit harder for you to make money as a new grad nurse. First of all, okay, yes, you can make a lot of money, like I mentioned, but those are for people who are regulars, for people who have, their full-time hours weekly, who are completing their 40 hours plus a week. But when you're a new grad nurse, you don't always have the opportunity to make 40 hours a week. That's for sure, especially if you're going to be working in more of a hospital type of environment. You are most likely going to be on the recall list if your area is anything like mine. So when I was working in the hospital, they had to guarantee me at least 2 days a week, right? Just so that I could eat somehow, right? So they had to give me some type of money, so I was guaranteed 2 days a week. But for the rest of the week, I was on the recall list, right? And since I was on the recall list, if the regulars weren't calling out, then guess what? I wasn't getting a call back. So I wasn't always getting 40 hours a week. Sometimes I was only getting 16 hours a week. Sometimes I was lucky and I would get 24, but I was not always getting 40 hours a week, right? So you are not necessarily going to have a regular position straight out of nursing school. You're gonna pretty much have to get what you can, take whatever you can. And yeah, because of that, you might not be able to make as much money as you want to make unless you work in multiple places, right? So do not think that you're gonna come out of nursing school and you're going to be balling. You will get paid well, you will be okay, you will definitely survive, but you are not going to be balling, okay? Not, at least not at first. Let's talk a little bit. We elaborated a little bit about it before, but now we're going to talk a little bit about like stability and scheduling. Like I said, a lot of us, we go into nursing school and we're like, yeah, I'm going to be an ER nurse and I'm going to have my 312s, or I'm going to work my 8 to 5 Monday to Friday and have my weekends off. And no, baby, that is not the way it works. Once again, if you're working in a hospital environment, or even if you're working in like any type of bigger facility where there's a lot of employees, baby, seniority talks, okay? And when you are fresh out of nursing school and you get into those places, you really are no one. You gotta build your seniority. You gotta get up there. So all the people who have more seniority than you, they are going to get all the hours, and you are basically going to get the scraps. You're gonna be the shrimp. You're gonna be the bottom feeder at the bottom, basically getting whatever the rest of the people don't want. That's what you're going to be. So you're not necessarily going to have only day shifts or have only evening shifts. And that's another thing. They will ask you for your availability. So you can put yourself only available for days, but once again, you get whatever is left, right? Whatever the others don't want is what you get. So if you put yourself only available for days, you might be cutting yourself short because you might not get as many callbacks. But if you have an open availability, then you will get more callbacks. callbacks, right? And that means that you might not only get days, if days is what you like. You might have to do some days, you might have to do some evenings, and you might have to do some nights. And another thing that comes with being a new nurse or even a new CNA is that you might not be on one specific floor. You might have to float. So one day you might be on one unit, the other day you might be on the other unit. I've seen a lot of nurses go through that. Personally, I worked as a CNA in the hospital. Once I graduated, I did work in the hospital as a nurse for like a month and then I left. But that's the way it worked in my hospital anyway, right? So one day you would be on med surg or on pre-op, and the next day you might be on post-op, and the next day you might be on the long-term care unit, and the next day you might be on another unit, right? So there's not always stability. You might have to move around a little bit in terms of the hours you work and in terms of the floors you work on or the units you work on. Let's talk patient to nurse ratio. Nursing school. Nursing school. Honestly, I'm gonna shout out some of my teachers because I did have 2 teachers who really kept it real with us. But for the most part, nursing school, they really sugarcoat shit. They really cookies and cream everything. They make it seem like everything is gonna be nice and peachy and sweet when you get out of nursing school, and you're gonna have this perfect 4-to-1 ratio. 4-to-1 ratio, that's what everybody thinks they're gonna have when they get out of nursing school. Like, everyone thinks they're gonna have that perfect 4-to-1 ratio. And even when we were on clinicals, we were required to have, to basically be able to manage 4 patients on our own in order to be able to pass. But let me tell you, you could go from 4 to 40 real freaking quick. You can go from 4 to 40 real quick, baby. I got out of nursing school, and I think on the very first job that I got, which is still the job that I'm at, I still work there part-time, but I think I went from having 4 patients to having, I think, 32 patients is what I had. By myself, baby. By myself. 32 lives in my hands. And sometimes that can be worse if other nurses call off. So if you guys are supposed to be 3 nurses or 2 nurses or 4 nurses on a unit, and 2 of the nurses don't show up, then guess what? You and nurse B or nurse A or whoever, Nurse Jones, you guys have to pick up the slack for the 2 nurses that didn't come in, and that 30 could easily jump to 50. So honestly, I just want you guys to know that 4-to-1 patient ratio, it's not always what it is out here. If you're lucky, then kudos to you, lucky you, but for the most part, that is not what it's gonna be. Let's talk about ungrateful people. Okay, let's talk about that. Once again, people are under the impression that the medical field is like all nice and peachy, and you look at TV and you see doctors and nurses and CNAs and everybody working together as a team, and everybody's so happy and everyone's so close and the patients are so appreciative. Let me just tell you something. Patients are some of the most unappreciative people you will ever meet. And at the end of the day, I do what I do because I love taking care of people. I don't necessarily do it for the thanks. I don't necessarily do it for whatever. I do it because I love doing it. I do it because I'm a selfless person and I like to care and I like to, give love. And I know that I have, my good karma, points up there with God. And God sees what it is that I'm doing and He knows my heart. So that's all that really matters to me. But guys, patients can be so unappreciative. Families are even worse sometimes. Like, you can get cussed out. You will be insulted. Imagine going into a room trying to help somebody do something that they can't do by themselves, and they're cursing you out and insulting you while you're trying to help them. Like, the nerve. The reality of things out here. You are not always going to get thank yous. In fact, you're not going to get thank yous very often. You're really not. Not from the patients, not from the families. And so yeah, it's not gonna be peaches and cream with them. And it's also not always gonna be peaches and cream with your coworkers, because let me tell you, there are some hating ass nurses out here. Haters. I was passionate when I was saying that because I just thought about a specific person. But there are some nurses out here, you really gotta be careful, especially if you are a young nurse out here, because these older nurses, they don't want to see you shine. And I'm not saying this is all of them, because there are some amazing, loving, just angels out there that have so much knowledge and experience, and they want to pass that down, and they want to share it, and they want to, take you under their wing and guide you. There are some amazing nurses, but there are some other nurses out here, they are bitter. They are bitter. That you are not always going to be appreciated. You're not always going to have good days. You might get cursed out. You might get insulted. You might even have patients spit on you. I've had that. I've had patients try to hit me, pinch me, scratch me, call me the N-word. All types of things, baby. all types of things. So just be ready for the reality of that. Being a nurse is, yes, it's selfless and it's, you know, it's a very loving type of career, but you really got to be a goon out here. You got to be mentally strong to deal with some of the things that you're going to see as a nurse. So if you get easily offended or you take things too personal all the time, baby, you're gonna break. You are going to break, okay? So work on that. Lastly, I also want to share something that a lot of people do not know, okay? If you are a nurse and you're working on a unit, right? Let's say you've been working doubles all week and today is your final day. You did a 7 to 3 and it's 3 o'clock. The sun is shining. It's beautiful outside and you just cannot wait to go home because your man is at home waiting. You guys planned a nice date and everything and he's at home waiting for you. And 3 o'clock comes and the nurse who's supposed to come in and start at 3 does not come in. Guess what, baby? You're not going home. You are staying till 11 o'clock because if you leave, that is neglect and that will be put on your license and it's just not a good look. And on top of that, you can get fired, right? So you can literally be told that you have to stay in and you cannot leave because that is considered neglect, which is like serious. I don't think it's called misconduct, but it's just serious, right? And you just don't want that. You don't want that shit on your license. So I just want you guys to also know that that sometimes if you're working in an environment where your coworkers are really unreliable, it can be really, really unpleasant because if they're not showing up, you gotta stay, and that really sucks. I've had that happen to me before. I had it happen to me this week. So I just want you guys to know that that is definitely something that you guys should expect as a nurse. Anyways, guys, those are just some of the expectations that I had going into nursing versus the reality of nursing now as a nurse. If you guys have anything you guys want to add, please share them down below. Let these new nursing students know exactly what it is that they're getting into, or some things that they can expect. This is not to discourage you guys or anything. Nursing is an amazing field. I absolutely love what I do. If you're passionate about what you do, yes, you will have some bad days the same way you will in any other field, but if you love what you do, man, like you'll just push through it and you will be fine. But that is it for what I had to share with you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and share. And if you are not yet part of my family, please do so. Bang on that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever I post future content. I really hope to see you guys all in my next one, and stay safe as usual and much love. Bye.